And the smug dismissal and even attacks on potentially legitimate voter fraud affidavits and the people who signed them is emblematic of a troubling mentality that, of course, is all over the left. It's the push to cancel, and beyond cancel, destroy their political opponents' ability to make a living. Point in case, Harvard University students, get this, are demanding that Trump administration officials be preemptively barred from campus for challenging the election results. In a letter, the students demand the university boldly confront Trump administration alumni invited to speak or not to invite them to speak at all. Joining me now is Carter Estes, graduate student at the Harvard Kennedy School and Massachusetts correspondent for Campus Reform. Carter, I'd like to say that I'm surprised by this, but I'm not, sadly.
Thank you, Laura, for having me. It comes as no surprise to a lot of us conservative students at Harvard. We hate to see this happening. It is flat out censorship. You know, the authors have reasoned that, ironically, they're trying to censor this president because of his subversion of democratic principles. Well, the First Amendment and free speech is a democratic principle, and they're throwing that out the window. There's been calls of universities to cancel Trump administration officials across the country. We at the Leadership Institute Campus Reform know that better than anybody. I've worked countless times with the Texas Federation of College Republicans against Texas schools who have been trying to do this in a red state. We got a free speech bill passed. Governor Abbott signed it. And now we're fighting at Harvard. The HKS GOP, we're not going to let it stand. We don't want to.
Well, this is why, another 4 years where you could actually get control over these little dictators at these universities that get a lot of federal dollars would be really nice to do. And I got to read a passage in this letter stating, "We remain fully committed to free speech and debate of difficult subjects. We do not believe, however, that individuals who engage in this behavior should be legitimized or rewarded by the university." Carter, isn't that exactly the opposite of being fully committed to free speech and debate? Don't invite anyone on who you disagree with vehemently.
Absolutely. They don't want Trump administration officials there. We've hosted at Harvard people from the Nixon administration, the Clinton administration. We hosted Eric Holder after he was held in contempt of Congress, and we hosted Saeb Erekat, the late Secretary General of the Palestinian Liberation Organization. And the only thing these people have in common is that they should be allowed to speak there because Harvard is a space for ideas. It's a space for us to communicate and to battle out ideas. But when you try to box out people with ideas, when you try to censor conservatives, that's not what's happening. And these progressives know that. They just don't want those ideas to permeate other people's minds because they know we're right.
Well, you know what it really says, Carter, is how afraid they are. If you're confident about your ideas, I mean, you're happy to talk to anybody about them. If you're confident that you're going to win the day, you don't mind talking to other people. I certainly don't. So it's a very curious thing. They're a lot less secure than one would expect Harvard students to be. Carter, sorry, that's an old Dartmouth slight on Harvard. Not deserved, I'm sure. Thanks so much for the report.